morning, everybody. Today we're going to be talking about calf hutches and calf health and the difference between single hutches and what we got over here is super hutches made from multiple calves.
Right. So a lot of you guys, I'm sure some of you guys have seen the videos where we used to have most of our calves in these groups of 4 in these super hutches, and we still have some in there. And but the way we used to do it, so we had these small hutches along the side of the calf barn, and when the cow would have the baby, we would the calf would come over and go into a small hutch, and they would be fed with a pail, and then at like 12 days we would move them into the super hutch, and they would get fed on the milk bar pails, on the milk bar suck buckets, which have those slow release nipples. And everything was I mean, it worked, but there's things that definitely were a drawback, and the drawbacks were getting to be pretty big. So we made a decision to change the way we're doing our calves. So it used to be, like I said, they come to the small hutch, they stay in here for 12 days, they go in groups of 4 to the big hutch, and then that's when they start their milk bars. Number one, when the calf went out of that little hutch, we had to wash that little hutch. And then they all went into the big hutch, all 4 of them. And then we had to sanitize and wash the big hutches when they came out. And it was just a lot of moving calves around. Like when the calves, it was twice as much as we're doing now. So it's what we decided to do, is go to small hutches. Let's go through the reasons that we made this decision. What's one reason that we liked these hutches?
So they could all be in groups, and we could feed them on the milk bar feeders, all the same and everything.
Yeah, because
everybody wants them in groups.
Exactly. The public wants them in groups, and they want them to be socialized like this, which is good for the calf, and the calves look good, but we end up treating a lot more calves, in these super hutches versus the single hutches. Just because in the single hutches, disease transmission isn't near as much as it is in these hutches with 4 calves in it. Like if this calf would get scours, chances are they're all 4 going to have scours. And it just got to be where, and there's one bigger reason yet, and I haven't told you about it. So another reason that we like these was for the milk bar pails, because at one time we had something in our calves called cryptosporidium. It was scours, and the milk bar feeders is what it does. It's a slow release nipple. The longer the calves suck, the more saliva they produce, and the saliva is what makes the milk curd in the stomach. So the more they sucked was supposed to be healthier for the calf. But the problem is they start sucking on each other too, and we're going to go through that. But I guess that's the main reason. We've tried it this way for almost 5 years, to keep them in groups like this. Start them in the small hutches individually, and then switch them to groups. So now we've decided that we're going to do what, Jared?
Put all the calves in single hutches here.
Right.
So take a look at it.
So some of the reasons that we went to the little hutches are what?
They can't spread diseases from, like, if one gets sick, they can't all 4 get sick, and it's a lot easier to wash and bed them and feed them, and put me on the spot.
Another reason? Oh, I know. They're warmer in the winter. You see how big the doors are in these, how big the openings are? I mean, we're in Wisconsin, and sometimes baby calves in these type of hutches, that door is pretty big. It's pretty much the full width of the hutch. But
these calves are way bigger than when they got first in here, so they're creating a lot more heat than when they would first go in here. They're not producing near as much when they're little. So.
Right. And over here, the doors are smaller, and it's easier to keep them warm, I think, in these little hutches versus the big hutches. So what are some of the things about these little hutches that we liked? I mean, what did we get? Remember? Like, what are reasons we went with this brand of little hutches?
So on these little hutches here, we have the bed door. That's what we call it. You can open this up.
And this is how you put the straw in from the back. And these are going to get bedded this morning. They need it. But we got them all. This isn't where they're going to stay. This is short term. I don't know where we're going to put them. Probably the biggest thing is we got to get them big hutches out of the way and then figure out exactly how we're going to do these small hutches. So we ended up getting 60 new calf tells. We got 20 from a friend of mine, and we already had 16?
Yeah.
16. And honestly, we've got like 16 of these big super hutches. There's 12 of them sitting out behind the barn right now, all washed up. Yeah, it's always something. We're always changing something.
Yeah.
But the thing is, if we just do one thing and think we did the right thing and are hard-headed about it, when you make a mistake, when I make a mistake and it's wrong, I want to fix it, right?
Yeah.
We want to do what's best for the animals. So we built this calf barn back in 2016. It's got individual pens in there. We can go in there and look at it. So we went from that, and then we got pneumonia in there, and actually a bad pneumonia, that we had to empty the barn out and sanitize it and let it sit for 6 weeks. And in the meantime, we ended up getting a bunch of these hutches and doing it like with the super hutches and the little hutches. And then when the barn became available again, we had too many animals to make everything work, not using the hutches. And they were just doing so good in the hutches. But now it seems like them little hutches, and I mean, hutches are old school, you know. Hutches have been around for a long time, and most of you guys probably use hutches. But we were trying to get by without using these little individual hutches, but it is the gold standard.
Yep.
It's the best way to do it. So we got rows of them over here. We got, I think there's 40 of them right here in a row. But these calves are just so healthy in the little hutches. We're feeding them out of, they drink milk out of the same pail that they're getting water out of. What was that, Jared? What's that for?
This is a rain shield, so their grain and stuff keeps it out of the elements and snow too. You put this down, like if it's gonna rain, and their feed stays dry, and then you just open it up in the day, so they have free access to it. They can still get to it from the back, so
yep,
when it's down.
Hoping the windstorm doesn't take care of those in the summer. It looks like it could, but hopefully they're pretty durable, because they're not cheap either. So yeah, so we got two hutches, 2 groups of 4 up there, and we got 2 more down here, and then these super hutches will be empty. So from the super hutches or from the little hutches, the new way, once they get done out here in these hutches, they go in the calf barn, and we'll go in here and look at this. This is, we've done a video on this before, but this is our milk taxi. And how does that work?
We get it from our hospital cows, or milk comes from the hospital cows, which is not approved to be fed to people, because it could have antibiotics in there, but it gets pasteurized and everything gets killed. The bad stuff gets killed in this, and then we can feed it to our calves. And we just put the milk in from over there, comes in here, it gets pasteurized, and then we can go out to the calves and feed it to them, put it in the buckets.
Right.
And it dries itself.
Right. And this is Geraldo coming here. He's our calf guy, and he's doing a super job taking care of these babies. He's really making a change. He's making a change for the best and doing as good as he can with it, because it was a big change doing it the way we're doing it. So anyhow, this is inside our calf barn. We just put these ventilation tubes in. We actually had that in a video not too long ago too, but this is where they come after being outside. They come into here. So all these calves would have came out of the super hutches, but I think once they start coming out of the individual hutches, they're gonna look sharper. These look pretty good, but we're just treating so many less calves. Like them little hutches, the public doesn't want it, but the public doesn't know. That's what I'm trying to tell you, is it's better for the calf in the small hutch. It might not look like it because they aren't with their buddies, but it's for the calf's own health. So yeah, so, and I was telling you, there's one bigger reason yet that we're switching, that we made the switch, and we're gonna go look at that. So I'm gonna go for a walk, turn you back on in a minute. Okay, Jaron, what's the reason?
Another reason for the small hutches, or the individual hutches, is for sucking. So when the calves suck on the calves out there, where we just were by the little hutches, they can make it, we can have free titters, is what we call it, where one quarter does not produce milk.
Or, so you see how this cow on the right rear is only got, she's only, see that? How the one's shriveled up? See how that one is shriveled up on there? That is the main reason that we're going away from feeding calves in a group, because we're getting way too much sucking. That really devalues that cow. It makes her lifespan not as long because they don't produce quite as much, and it's just not good for them. I mean, we actually had one calf in with 2, and we really keep a close eye on suckers. And what do we do with it?
We put rings in them.
Yeah, we actually put rings in their nose so that when they're trying to suck on another one, it pokes the other one so the other one doesn't stand and let them do it. But go back outside and show you some with rings in their nose.
Yep.
Maybe we should go in the parlor and try to find a 3-titter.
With these hutches, we won't have to put rings in their nose, hopefully.
Right.
Well, they won't be together, so it'll be impossible for them to suck on each other, so that'll be good.
Right. And we're positive that that's where the 3-titters is coming from, because it's not like they calve in with mastitis or anything. There's only just one of them's just blind. There's no, and if they're, when they sucking on each other, if they crimp on that teat with their teeth, with their gums or teeth, it can, that's all they got to do. And it's junk. It'll never melt. They damage it. I think it's a sphincter muscle or whatever. Not sure. Not a
100%.
the expert on that, but I think that's what it is. So we're down in the parlor right now, and this is an example right here of a 3-titter. She's milked out already, so we're going to try to find one that hasn't been milked. And,
Yep.
But that's one right there. We're just getting way too many of them. This is our 2-year-old pen. We're just going into the parlor. When they get in there, we'll get behind them and try to show you something. Come on, girl. Is that it? What are you doing? Huh? This is one of our 2 favorite bulls. One of our 2 favorite bulls right now, this flask. She's not the nicest, so I'm not gonna, but on the whole they are pretty nice. Okay. Any 3-titters? So let's look for one. See how these all look like they have 4? 4. Probably one. Oh. Who can spot the 3-titter? There. Right here.
Yep.
Pull that tail out of the way. So you see how that, there's nothing in that. This one is blind. We don't even put the milker on it because there's nothing there. It's all in these 3. So that's the main reason here. Here, over here we've got, these are all 4. 4. Okay, so out of 24 in this pen, there's 1, but I think the percentage is higher than that. Just got lucky on this group. Okay, so in the front.
This cow has a ring in her nose here, so that would have got put in when she was young, when she was sucking on a different calf.
So these are the rings we're talking about. It just goes in the nose like that. The prongs are all gone on that one.
Yep.
And then they just get left in because, I mean, it's possible that they start sucking again when they're pregnant heifers, and you just don't want that. See if there's any more rings over here. No, but we've tried a lot of different things to get them to quit sucking, like change the weaning program, changed a lot of things, but we still end up getting quite a few. So just sick of it, and we're gonna do what's best for the calf this time, not what the public wants. Well, we usually do that, but what's best for the calf.
Yep, we try it.
We try, but it took us a long time to, so we're kind of slow learners, I guess. But in here in the calf barn, Let's see here. All right. Here's a pen of calves. There's a couple right back there with rings that were sucking on each other. So here's another pen over here. Here must have been one too. So there's another one style ring back there. But those rings are designed. Yeah.
There's 2, 3, at least 3 in that one pen right there.
Yeah, actually I think there's more than that. There's one laying down.
4.
Yeah. But you gotta do what you gotta do. Yeah. So, but we built this calf barn for baby calves when we built it. So that's what I was saying earlier. We used to start them in these little hutches here. There was 5, there was 10, and then there was 5 more over here. It's pretty much just storage now. We don't use them. And then when there was 8 of them, we put them into a group, and they would get fed off the big milk bar feeders. But right now the calves in the super hutches, they get fed out of these feeders. These feeders right here, and there's 5 nipples on it with 4 calves, and then you just fill it full of milk. And we always change the nipples between groups, and every hutch had their own pail. You can see now that we've, what's that?
Yeah. I was gonna say it's really hard to clean.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
That's another bad thing about them.
Really hard to clean these things out. You have to go in from the back side with a hose, stick your hand in here and try to shoot the water out, but there's just a lot of bacteria that builds up in here.
They can.
They can, yep.
And then these right here, this is really dirty. It hasn't been used for years, but we bought a couple of these. They're individual ones. It's for like calf hutches and stuff. Junk in there. But these, I mean, are impossible to get a hose nozzle down there and squirt through that nipple. I think they might have changed the style on these, but to have 80 of these to clean up every milking, ew. So that's why we're not even using bottles. We're going right to pails. We've always started them on pails, and that's what we're doing now. So you know how much milk they're getting, Jaron?
When you first start feeding them, they get a little over 2 liters twice a day, and then once they're full, once they get a little older, we turn up to 4 liters twice a day, and then we wean them at 2 months. So
yeah, start weaning them.
Start weaning them.
And then it's a 2-week step down for weaning. Yeah. So anyhow, don't know what else to say except that's the reason we did that video, was just to show you the difference of what we're doing with our calves and why we're doing it. So yeah. People probably think we just can't figure it out, which we obviously took us. Right now, we think this is the best way. Now in 5 years, is something going to change? Are we going to have an individual barn with individual hutches or something? I don't know. One drawback, big drawback about having them hutches outside in the winter is what? Snow.
Yep.
And cold. It's not a fun job, and we're lucky to have a really good guy taking care of them. So,
yep. Calf feeding's gonna be really simple now.
When it's nice out, it's beautiful. It's really nice feeding calves. But when the weather's not nice, it's not nice. But do we take days off when it's snowing or raining?
No.
No, calves don't appreciate that. So, yeah, these are just some bull calves that'll be sold. But are we done?
Yeah, I think we're done.
Okay, so
that'll be it for today's video. Hope you guys enjoyed, maybe learned something. And don't forget to like and subscribe. We'll see you guys in the next one.
You bet. It says full battery. Is it recording? It says highest. Okay. So, what is one reason we used to use these?
I don't know.
You know.